Welcome to BSc Statistics students. Now we discuss problem number 2 in test for two proportions. Right? You see the problem here. Random samples of 400 men and 600 women were asked whether they would like to have a flyover near their residence. So it is clear that random samples of 400 men, this is one sample, and 600 women, this is another sample, N1, N2 are given. That is, it is a problem of two samples. It is a problem of two samples that you have to understand first. And then they were asked about whether they would like to have a flyover near their residence. And 200 men and 325 women were in favor of the proposal. That is, proportionate number of persons feeling that they want a flyover near their residence. That is proportionate values. That is, it is a test for proportions. Simply a number out of 400 men, 200 men are agreed. And out of 600 women, 325 women are in favor. So therefore, this is nothing but it's a question of, it is a test of proportions. Right? That is x1, x2 values. You see here, n1 400, n2 600, x1 200, x2 325. That's all. The problem almost finished. If you identify these values, the given data, then obviously you can just what you have to see is null and alternative hypothesis. Remaining just it is only a calculation with the formula. That's all. You see. What is the question? In the problem, the question is test the hypothesis that proportions of men and women in favor of the proposal are same or not, or are not, at 5% level of significance. So it is a direct question. So hence directly we can easily consider the null and alternative hypothesis. What is the null hypothesis? After calculating small p1, small p2, and after calculating capital P cron, capital Q cron, you have to calculate null hypothesis. You have to write the null points, null hypothesis, all the 4 points. I'll tell you. What is P1? Small p1 sample proportion, first sample proportion x1 by n1, 200 by 400, 0.5. Similarly, small p2, x2 by n2, 325 by 600, 0.5417. Now, this is the case. I have mentioned that there are two cases. Capital P is known and capital P is not known. This is the case where capital P is not given, not known. Then in such a case, it is going to be estimated. What is the formula to estimate? Capital P can be estimated by the formula x1 plus x2 by n1 plus n2, or n1 p1 plus n2 p2 divided by n1 plus n2. Another formula, whichever you can use it. P cron, because directly x1, x2, n1, n2 are available. Therefore, P cron is equal to x1 plus x2 by n1 plus n2. If P is not known, then in such a case we have to use this. Capital P cron is equal to x1 plus x2 by n1 plus n2. So x1 is 200, x2 is 325. N1, N2 are 400, 600. So that this is 525 by 1000 is equal to 0.525. Okay. Therefore, Q cron is equal to 1 minus P cron. It is 0.475. Now, you have to consider all the 4 points as usual. Null hypothesis. H naught. Capital P1 is equal to capital P2 is equal to capital P. What is the question? What is the statement you have to test? You see here. Test the hypothesis that proportions of men and women in favor of the proposal are same or not. We have to consider which are same in the null hypothesis and the non-alternative hypothesis, we have to consider not same. That's all. So the first point, null hypothesis, H naught P1 is equal to P2 is equal to P, in which you have to consider there is no significance difference between the opinion of men and women in favor of the proposal. Simply you can write the proportion of men and women in favor of the proposal are same. That is no significance difference. So alternative hypothesis, H1 P1 not equal to P2, that is a two-tile test because not equal to. And the opinions of men and women about the flyover are not same. Here it is same, we have to consider in the null hypothesis. In the alternative hypothesis, we have to consider they are not same. Now test the statistic under H naught. Z the formula. P1 minus P2, this is the case 2. Here also we can specify P1, and that is P1 is equal to P2 is equal to P is not known. This is the case. This is not known. In which the not known? In which the case that Z is equal to B, test statistic under H naught. Z is equal to small p1 minus small p2 divided by square root of p cron into q cron into 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. Substitute the values is equal to small p1 0.5, small p2 0.5417 divided by square root of p cron, capital P cron 0.525, q cron 0.475, 1 by n1 1 by 400 plus 1 by n2 600. Substitute the values and then simplify the values. You will get minus 1.269. Whatever the value you consider, you calculate it. Need not to depend on this particular problem, right? And then comparison and conclusion, or simply we can say inference or comparison and conclusion. Then in which the first one is modulus of Z. Here it is a negative value, minus 1.269. Modulus of Z, calculate modulus. That is modulus of Z is equal to 1.269. And Z alpha, the tabulated value or significant value, at 5% level of significance, it is given at 5% level. And refer the alternative. Alternative is two-tile test, is not equal to two-tile test. Therefore, for 5% level of significance and for two-tile test, the standard normal table value is 1.96. 1.269 is less than 1.96. Therefore, modulus of Z is less than Z alpha, which implies H naught is accepted. That is, the proportion of men and women in favor of the proposal, which are same. The proportions of men and women in favor of the proposal are same. H naught is going to be accepted. The opinions are same of men and women in favor of the proposal, which are same. Hope you understand. This is what the calculation second case, the case 2 of calculating the test for proportions. Capital P1, capital P2 are not known, that is capital P is not known, and in that case capital P is going to be estimated and problem is going to be calculated with this formula, and the comparison and conclusion are going to be taken place, or it is going to be calculated in this fashion. Hope you understand. Thank you.